Howdy, gang, and welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host, here at the Gaming Gang channel. Thanks for joining me once again. Before I dive on into today's first look, I do want to mention if you enjoy the Gaming Gang and would like to support the outlet, you can do so in 3 different ways. First, by utilizing our affiliate links to the One Bookshelf sites such as DriveThruRPG, by way of the gaminggang.com, or by making a one-time donation through PayPal, or by becoming a monthly member of our Patreon. You'll find links in the show notes. Also, down in those show notes, you'll find an invite link to our Discord server, which is absolutely free to sign up for. So be sure to hang with the gang over on Discord. Today, I'll be sharing a first look at Warhammer 40,000 Roleplay Wrath Glory Darktide Extraction from Cubicle 7 Games. This 112-page hardcover with PDF is available now, carries an MSRP of $34.99. Of course, to get that free PDF, you want to order from Cubicle 7 Games. If you want to just grab the PDF alone, you can do so over at DriveThruRPG for $19.99. Having said all that, let's swing on over to the other camera, because here I've got Darktide Extraction for Wrath and Glory. A few things to mention before we get stuck in. First of all, my friends over at Cubicle 7 Games were kind enough to provide me with this review copy, but neither I nor anyone else affiliated with the Gaming Gang has received any other sort of compensation in order to share this first look with you. It's important you know that. We're also not going to look at each and every page of the book, but I do want to give you a good feel for what you're going to find inside. And then, of course, this is an adventure campaign. So if you're a player and your game master has picked this up, maybe they're talking about picking this up, even though I have not taken a peek inside this book, there are going to be some spoilers ahead. So you have been warned. So let's take a look at the back here. Listen up, rejects. Grendel needs you to go down into the snake stack and retrieve the airflow cogitator, but something nasty is brewing down there, so watch your backs. Explore the setting of Warhammer 40,000 Darktide as Inquisitor Grendel dispatches you to the snake stack, a lost region of Hive Tertium, to retrieve a lost archeotech cogitator. The ventilation systems of the snake stack breathe life into Tertium, but the depths of the hive are packed with traitor forces of the Mobian Sixth, cultists pledged to the plague god Nurgle, and strange lost sects of the Mechanicus. And of course, it tells us what's inside. Well, I'm not going to read that because we're going to open this up and take a look for ourselves. First thing we're going to take a look at, though, is the credits page. A lot of folks worked very hard to bring this to life, so let's give credit where credit is due. If I remember correctly, this is a 5-part campaign. So we've got our introduction, Hive encounters, and then I think we jump on into the action with the snake stack, crash site, backup, biohazard, and escape. So we get a breakdown of Tertium and the Mobian domain, Atoma Prime. Here's the Hive. Spires of steel, roots of bone. Hive Tertium is gargantuan, rivaling even the storied hives of Mordian and Armageddon. Multiple spires, like some clawed hand, grasp upwards to the stars, while below, the Hive City proper and the derelict sub-hive are home to over 99% of the 90 billion people that live upon Atoma Prime. That's pretty wild. So it's giving us some information about different locales. The Warrens, hazards and bounties. So we've got some random tables there. Industrial works. So we're getting some random tables for some of the different locations. Profaned ground. Even before the Mobian Sixth turned traitor, Parts of Tertium Hive was desecrated by dark powers. Sacrificial atrocities and forbidden sorceries twist reality into a grim parody of itself. The dead walk, the shadows come alive, and the air whispers damning secrets to the weak-minded. Okay, this is our adventure outline. The agents must face a sequence of challenges to find allies in the slung and get the freight elevator it is attached to moving. So we have four, I should say, parts to this chapter. Down the snake stack, welcome, the control room, and power play. The snake stack is the first adventure in the agent's descent into the plague-ridden depths of Tertium Hive on their mission to find an ancient cogitator, which in reality is a piece of archeotech that is said to allow for warp travel without a navigator. Wow, well. We're going to get some info about the different factions of the slung. As far as production quality, paper stock's nice and thick. Very nice. This does have a stitched binding as well, so keep that in mind. It looks like this first chapter is relatively long. Then there's a crash site. The slung and elevator E07 are finally moving down the snake stack, but progress is soon impeded. The first team sent by Inquisitor Grendel was shot down by the Mobian 6th, their Valkyrie crashing into a dangerously flammable fuel line, impeding E07's progress. So I guess they have to clear out that crash site. Artwork throughout's pretty cool. Getting some images of kind of like the Hive world. Next up, we've got backup as the massive elevator grinds slowly downwards into the depths of the snake stack. A cyclopean spectacle unveils itself beneath. Round the edge of the main shaft is a vast collar of adamantium and steel, supporting a lattice work of cables and girders which stretches horizontally across the interior. Hanging from this lattice are enormous turbines, each the size of a hab block, with fan blades weighing as much as a warhound titan. Nice. This is broken up, I think, into 4 parts. So we've got an encounter table for the lattice, some different threats. Next, we move into Biohazard, the rotten core of the snake stack. With the colossal fans of the iron collar behind them, the agents descend into the heart of the rot eating away at the snake stack. The shaft has been used as a dump for centuries, and at the very bottom is the sump, a vast lake of toxic sludge broken up by an archipelago of islands made of compacted refuse and discarded machinery. Shoddy bridges and stinking canals ferry people and goods sluggishly between disheveled alleys and buildings. It's pretty wild. That looks pretty cool. I've always thought the concept of hive worlds in the Warhammer universe would be pretty cool. I always thought the Necromunda miniatures game, at least the first edition, which came out years and years ago, back when I was reading White Dwarf magazine, I always thought that was pretty cool. That was a very unique miniatures game. All right, then finally we have Escape. The manifestation of Velgaren is just as the cultists planned. The agents recovering the Void Abacus was not. They had originally intended to use the cogitator to redirect airflow from the sump and release the hyphogenic swarm there. Now with that on board the slung, the plan has changed, and Velgaren boards the city and takes hold of elevator E07, intending to ride it to the top of the snake stack and unleash the swarm into Tertium from there. All right. That's kind of cool. Looks like there's probably pretty good amount of action in this adventure campaign. Of course, I will have a review of Darktide Extraction in the very near future. So we're going to wrap up with an index. And that is a peek inside Warhammer 40,000 Roleplay Wrath and Glory Darktide Extraction from Cubicle 7 Games. Sweet. Very nice. I am curious about this. I'm very happy to see Cubicle 7 Games continue to support Wrath and Glory. That is something I did not expect years ago when Cubicle 7 Games took over this role-playing game from Ulysses Spiel. Very nice. All right, that is it for this time out. If you liked the video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already, and if you do subscribe, don't forget, ring that bell. It'll not only let you know when I share videos such as this first look, it'll also inform you when my live stream, the Gaming Gang Dispatch, airs Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings right here on YouTube at 7 p.m. Central. And of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more you are not going to find here on YouTube. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Thank you very much for watching. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer. And until I see you next time, I certainly hope all of you get to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang.